talking about household chores like کار خانه and expectations what a wife should do versus what a husband should do. And Muska John was talking about how وقتی که اولاد ما کلان میکنیم یا تربیت میکنیم در کلتور افغانا usually نرم نیسته یا یک عادت نیسته که بچه‌رام بگوییم که کارخانه کو و دخترام یاد بدیم. زیادتر دفعه ما دختر یاد میدیم مگم بچه‌را نی که به خاطر بچه است و به خاطر بد است.
بیادرت از خیر بچیم.
Yeah, always بیادرت از خیر بچیم. But luckily our parents did not raise us like that.
No, I think that's why we became so outspoken.
Yeah, for sure. دوستان عزیز یک گپ دیگه که زیادتر نفرها را stop میکنه از عروسی کردن یا to kind of get to know someone or settle down is worried about class or ethnicity or the tribe or money که نفر پیسه دار نباشه یا نفر رو ما تاجیک هستیم یا ما آذر هستیم یا ما پشتون هستیم یا نیستن
یا از این فامیل ما بالا هستیم.
Yeah, and then یا از این فامیل هستم ما از این فامیل نیستیم و فامیلا زیاد دی گپا یک ذره stuck میشن and یک ذره زیاد involved میشن to a point where نفر خوش نمی باشه و خاطر که they end up getting married to people just because ما از خودی میگیریم یا cousin میگیریم یا whatever.
Yeah.
That's usually the case.
Yeah, I was gonna say like what's really big is marriages between like Sunni and Shia or Tajik and Pashtun or Hazara and Pashtun or Tajik or the mixes of ethnicities like you said, like it creates such a big issues, and then there we are with our double standards saying like, oh, you know what, like but when it comes to like your children wanting to marry someone of different ethnicity, it suddenly becomes an issue, or of a different Islamic sect, it's an issue.
Right. So a lot of times they say like a lot of the نفرایی که کلان سن میباشه میگه در وقت ما سنی شیعه نبوده مگم وقتی که اولادای خودشان میخواین ازدواج کنن امر یک کسی باز میگه نه ما سنی هستیم یا شیعه هستیم یا ما شیعه هستیم یا سنی هستیم it's not gonna work out یا ما پشتون هستیم یا ما آذر هستیم یا نیستن دی گپا کلگی بند میمانه دی گپا کلگی یک دفعه دشمن میشه مگم وقتی که وطن سقوط میکرده کلگی میگفت نه ما کل ما افغان هستیم نه ما کل ما یک جای هستیم ما کل ما هم وطن هستیم هم زبان هستیم یک دست هستیم مگم when it comes to وقتی که شخصیان it affects you then it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like double standards. تا که به مردم میشه it's okay اما وقتی که نوبت خودت هست که proof کنی که این دقیقی گپا نیستی باز اون وقت میگه like رنگ اصلی معلوم میشه که کی چی میکنه. I've seen that a lot within friends where that has been an issue, and honestly like some fought it out and got married and like happily ever after. Some went ahead and married the people that the families wanted and are like sadly like are living a miserable life because now there are like grudges held and that love or respect or trust is broken. So it's like two people living in the same house and that's pretty much it, and that's all their life just because mardum chi mega.
Yeah.
It's like,
and a lot of times that's exactly what happens. میگن آسان تر است که افغان بگیری doesn't matter whatever هر چیز که باشه افغان خود ما بگی یا هر چیز whatever like پشتون خود ما رو بگی تاجیک خود ما رو بگی it's never انسان خوبه بگی. They always say that but they never really worry about براستی انسان خوبه بگیره به خاطر که then it becomes از کدام کشور است باز از کدام tribe است از کدام sect است what religion they follow, what sect of that religion they follow, از کدام خاندان میاد از کدام فامیل میاد. And these things are very important to look at too, of course, because you want to look at a family's reputation and all that. Magam, if that's the only deciding factor, and if it's a good person, but they're not, your cookie cutter, whatever you had set up in your mind, then that's a problem.
Honestly, like, that is a huge problem. I lost my train of thought because I was listening. Sorry. Go on. No, it's not your fault.
So yeah, just the family's getting involved. Like I'm not in the right way.
That's what I wanted to say. Like if you're gonna get involved in a way where like, okay, she's not the same as us, whatever you are. They're not the same, but let me meet this person and see how they are. At least give them a chance and then say no if you find valid reasons. It's not valid just that like مسلمان است اما افغان نیست یا I don't know like popalzai asti, popalzai nesu nafar diga or something. I don't know. But like, you know, they find like reasons like this. It's like, it's not good enough, but at least give the person a chance, get to know them and see if, you know, if you don't like them for a valid reason, like they're a rapist or something, fine.
Right.
But if you have no valid reason, then back off. Thank you.
I agree. No, and a lot of people, a lot of the youth that we asked were actually surprisingly, they wanted someone who shared a similar culture with them and a similar religion with them, because they want to raise their children in, you know, a similar manner, which makes sense, 100%. Magam, surprisingly, also, almost about half the people still said they're okay with marrying outside the culture. And one of the reasons for this is because a lot of times we have a disconnect within our Afghan community, especially like a Toronto casta, you know, everything kind of becomes about, oh ma, we're more famous, we know more people, and it never really becomes about getting people together. متاسفانه for example در شهر نیویورک اقدر like افغانا زیاد هستن مگم بسیار دور هستن و نیستن که you know یک جای بیاین یک event کنن یا یک you know یک group باشن to help each other out. They don't have that sense of community, and I spoke to a lot of youth that said that they don't feel a sense of community, and even like زیاد افغانا که اینجا میشناسن که لگی خود دور میگیره یا you know
they're worried که مردم چی میگه. You know, like growing up, it's the same thing for us. It's like, you know, if you زیاد رفت آمد چیز شوا باز آدم میترسه که زیاد رفت آمد شد کسی چیز نگویه، یا دختر جوان داره از او خاطر خانه ما میایه، یا بچه جوان داره از او خاطر خانه ما میایه. You know, I feel like مردم بسیار میترسه از گپ، so بیخی دور میشه. And then وقتی که اولادشون یک خارجی را خوش کرد surprise میشن که like but کل عمر like که افغانا نبودن یا دور بودن, so how could you expect them to meet an Afghan when you've never given them that opportunity?
Exactly. It's very true.
Yeah. And honestly, like some of the responses we were getting as to why people wanted to marry outside of the culture, یا اینا کوشش میکنم داری بگویم چون فکر کنم که بزرگای ما بهتر است این گپ گوش کنه. از دوستا که پرسان کردیم بسیاریش که میخواستن خارجی ها را بگیرن و بر ما دلیلایش که دادن بسیار دلیلای بجای بود و ما هم نظر هستم چون پیش از زمیر جان من پلان نداشتم که یک افغانه بگیرم. So problem است که وقتی که یک افغان میگیره آدم بسیار فامیلیا انوالو می باشه، از مادر پدر گرفته تا همسایه و میلمن که کلگی یک گفتار داره در زندگی و او برای یک زندگی دو نفر هیچ خوب نیست، چون هر قدر که نظر زیاد بیایه اما قد دوری زیاد میشه، چون who are you gonna listen to first. وقتی که یک خارجی را میگیری especially like کانادایا و یا که اینجا از دوستای ما هست نفر سیوم نیست در ریلیشنشیپشان، زن است، خانم است و شوهر است. That's it. Exactly. و کل decision یگان تا است like one of my friends she got married و در عروسیش 10 نفر بود و منم میفهمم که در لیست من چطور رسیدم. like 10 نفر از ما افغانا که است 300-400 نفر اگه نباشه محفل خوب نیست، خرد نیست، باید سر بچه خرج شود که ثبوت شود که بچه دختر راستی میخواه یا قدرش بفهمه. اما اون نمیفهمه میره که اگه اما قد بچه اولی پیسه را داره نداره، دوم امی پیسه را میتونه یک خانه داون پیمنت یک چیز بتسر. بهتر است که دخترتان در یک اپارتمنت like rental کنه یا یک چیز زندگی کنه، یا اونمو پیسه عروسی را که 500-600 نفر که میشناسین نمیشناسین خوشتان داره نداره بخواین، یا بهتر است که زندگی دخترتان یا بچه‌تان آرام شود. Like for us it was such a battle to have a small party. از خاطر کلگی میگفت که باید از محفل کلان باشه، باید از تو. And we've had recent marriages in the family as well که بسیار پرابلم‌ها زیاد بود که شوخینه، که پایوازی، که خشخوری، که شیرینیخوری، که بازاروسی. I don't know. سطحین محفل like آخر کلش پیسه است. You know و پیسه چقدر سخت پیدا میشه. فکر نکنم که من ضرورت دارم که به شما بگویم از خاطر خودتان به مشکل پیسه تان پیدا میکنید.
زیاد نفرات که میخواین عروسی کنن نمیکنن به خاطر که نمیتونن نمیره افورد کنن.
و کسایی که میخواین یک نکاح یادی کنن یا یک محفل خرد بگیرن automatically it's assumed که کدام پرابلم از دبین like یا عامله دار است یا you know به اجازه کده یا چیز. It's like no honestly like این نفر شاید دقیقه گپ مردم نباشه like زندگی خود خوش کرده باشه like I know the وقت پندمیک بسیار نفرها محفلای خرد گرفت یا تنها نکاح کردن and بسیاری دوستا فهمید که like yeah that's you know چی فایده که قد سال منتظر کنی که یک محفل کلان but باز مردم yeah and then but باز مردم میگه like احساس کردن نتونستن میگفتن oh you know what ما چرا خبر نکردی خفه شدن یا like for example like with Zamir and I was getting calls like oh ما خاله میشم ما کاکا میشم it's like ما چه خبر like I'm not pregnant اگر طرف ما میگی you know it just it hurts که در آخر روز like I've known you all my life and suddenly you think I'm getting a nikah done because you know I'm pregnant and like that's not the case like sometimes you just want to have to prioritize که چقدر خرج کردم میتونی بدون از او که جیبت اوگار شود.
No, it's very true. It's a very valid point, and I feel like everybody, especially now, you know, in the time of Instagram, everybody wants an Insta-worthy wedding.
Yeah.
But they don't realize how much debt that's putting them into and how miserable it's going to make them because finances are, believe it or not, one of the first things and one of the most common reasons for divorce.
Yeah.
So,
one of the girls,
you know, anybody that we know gets affected by it, but unfortunately,
that has been the case in the past.
Yeah.
One of the girls messaged and she was sharing her story about how her wedding was like, you know, the big fat Greek wedding or something, the movie we saw, something like that. Like it was a huge wedding with several events and you know, and like gifts for all the kakas, amas, khalas, all, you know, you name it. Everyone got like expensive brand name gifts. She's like, yeah, everyone was like, whoa, like chika masraf kadi, chika chikadi. Yeah. Turns out it's been 12 years since her wedding and they're still paying for that wedding.
Of course, there's a lot of families like that.
Yeah.
And they just keep
زندگی دختر خود فامیلش خراب کرد because she's like my mom did this to me. She's like now like we live in an apartment because all that money like you know they had to like you know از کل دوستا از بانک‌ها یا قرض گرفته که از خاطر her wedding costed her like 12 years ago it costed her like over 120,000.
Yeah, and that was a big deal back then. So imagine all
and she said that's not including the jewelry she got. No, this is just for the parties.
Of course.
And I was like, it's ridiculous. And like I was sad that امو زبان خود دختر نداشت که کت مادر خود گپ بزنه که like stop, you know? She's like, no, it was because someone else in the family had a big party, so mine had to be bigger.
Of course, هم چشمی خواسته که او دختر خالت, you know, اقدر جیز آورد و تو ناوردی, اقدر پارتی داشت تو نداشتی, wedding ازی 300 نفر داشت از تو باید 500 نفر باشه. They all have that. و دمو هم چشمی اولاد خود آدم در میتر. You know what I mean? Like it's really messed up that that's the case. But unfortunately, that's the status of us Afghans today.
And that's why we're sharing it with you. I hope like you know this hasn't affected you.
Of course,
and
like,
you know you are the lucky one. Jun, like we love you guys and respect you guys. That's why we're here, and that's why we're sharing this.
Problemار ما پیشنهاد کنیم و بفهمانیم که what's going on because a lot of people میگه که اولادایم اینا 30 ساله شد 20 چند ساله شد آرسی نمیکنن چرا نمیکنن چی گپ است and this is why.
و باز چیزا که ما گفتیم امروز نظر خود ماست و بسیاریش نظرهای دوستای ماست که در سوشال میدیا که ما شیر کردیم
و همچنان فالوورز ما
اونمو فالو I call them friends.
دوستا
دوستایی که در سوشال میدیا هستن بازش هم میشناسیم بسیاریش شاید نشناسیم اما ما سوالا که شریک میسازیم امرایشان اونا وقت یافت میکنن که راز دل کنن امرای ما چون نامایشان ما اکسپوز نمیکنیم تو شاید اگر یک چیزی امروز ما گفتیم شاید اینمی اولادتون باشه یا خورزاده بیادرزاده باشه
یا دوستان باشه یا خواهر یا بیادرت باشه we never know.
so از اون خاطر اگر ما که شما شریک میکنیم امید است سرتان بد نخوره ما نظر جوانان امروز همراه شما شریک میکنیم we're just the messengers and in the meantime if I have to share a life story I'll do that too.
So what are some of the solutions that we have to have you know problems like this kind of disappear یا از بین بره این رقم پرابلما که دارن زیادتر جوانا اول خو keep an open mind هیچ وقت در یک you know like وقتی که کسی را میخوای بشناسی یا وقتی که کسی you know بچه‌تان یا دخترتان کسی را میاره میگه اوکی امروز از این نفر آشناستم این نفر را میخوام که امروزشان ازدواج کنم شما چی نظر دارین هیچ وقت که یک closed mind نرین که او این نفریت نیست یا نیست یا it's not the perfect person for me whatever the case is you have to keep an open mind که از کدام فامیل باشه یا از کدام یا چقدر تحصیل کرده باشه چقدر پیسه داشته باشه.
It doesn't even matter.
It really doesn't matter مگم like of course there are certain things you have to watch for مگم if نمو تنها صرف نمو criteria هست که این نفر چند جور میکنه از کدام خاندان است از کدام tribe است it's not going to go anywhere.
و اگر نمیخواین که یک کار کسی کنه مثلا اگر یک نفر بچه‌تون یا دخترتون خوش کرده نمیخواین که عروسی کنه بگوین که چرا نگوین از خاطر که من گفتم like that's not good enough و در حالت شما نمیخواین که اولادتان بیگفتی کنه و بره بکنم و عروسی را یا دختر و بچه like you know they choose each other and they're gonna leave نمیخواین که اولادتان از دست بدین از خاطر یک گپ بسیار عادی وقتی که میتونین امو فکرتان شیر کنین اگه کسی خوشتان نامده شاید یک ریزن داشته باشه بیشین امور امرای اولادتان شریک کنین از کده بگوین like مادر کیست یا پدر کیست من چیزی که گفتم امو چیز میشه چون the generation ما یک کار نمیکنه فکر کنم.
I mean it's only fair که باید دلیل بدین و بگوین که چرا شما هم شریک نیستین امرای نظرشان you know what the issue is. گپ دوم let's talk about dating apps. خب میفهم که در امریکا یک دانه dating app بود برای افغانا specifically جور شده بود. I think her name was Hawa Bahaduri. I think she was part of Soul Sisters if I'm not wrong. And she made it so that the female can first decide if she's interested and then the male can follow suit and she only shows up on the profile or for like or the I guess the explore page or whatever it's called for the male if she swipes yes. So I think that was a really cool idea. Agar kasi mekhar you know take the initiative if you're a techie person.
This is your chance.
From my understanding zyadar dosta ke dating apps istifade kardan find that first of all there's a lot of married men out there with kids. Not divorced, they're still married, very happily married. Well, clearly not very happily. Magam, that's a no-no. Please don't do that. That's the lowest of the lows you can go as a human being.
What? Yeah,
exactly. Someday, somebody is going to be one of your wife's friends. She's going to find out. She's going to find you on there. She's going to screenshot it. And your wife is going to see the most updated picture of you. You can't even say it's an old profile. And then what?
Yeah.
And then what? Now you're embarrassed, and it's something you could have very
embarrassed
easily
is the least of your worries at that point.
Yeah. So, you know, if somebody is out there listening, I guess you can design a dating app that can work for Afghans because, again, I mean, there are a few Muslim dating apps, they call it, you know, where people get to know each other. Magam, they're used for hookups, unfortunately. And a lot of them are Arabs and Pakistanis and people that are looking to marry, at least within the culture, are not going to find someone so easily when that's the situation.
Honestly, I don't know if I'm allowed to bring this up, but Batkadi has started the dating Meet Kadi, which I thought was a really awesome idea. So shout out to you, Batkadi, for that. Yeah, it was awesome, and I feel like and it's a really nice anonymous way of meeting somebody if you don't want.
Service شروع کرده و I'm going to talk a little bit more about it مگم بعد از یک وقت کوتاه.
Are we still on?
Yeah, we are. We're really getting into it.
دل نوازی دلبر تو دل نوازی چه ناز ناز نازی چه ناز ناز نازی
جمعه شب 18 مارس در بزرگترین سالن دریمز کانونشن سنتر
آستاب رویت کنم
قیمت تیکت ها $45 در شب کنسرت $65 تیکت ها را می توانید از اکثریت مغازه های افغانی خریداری نمایید. خط تماس 648 620 1881
یا که صورت زیباست یا که
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back, دوستای عزیز. Okay, yeah, so we were talking about Meet Kadi, which is a really fun way. به خاطر anonymous هسته کدام عکس نمیندازین، میتونین درباره دوستای خود روان کنین، یک short bio و میتونه که like هر کس که بخونه اگر interested هسته یا برای دوستای خود یا فامیل خود interested
بدون نام و بدون عکس میتونین بگین که شما کی هستین و چه قسم انسان میخواین در زندگیتون. Yeah, which I think is super cool.
That's very cool.
So اگه میخواین message meet kadi at bat kadi.
Yes, صفحه مجازیش هست بد کدی. و which gets to my other point, helping your friends by spreading the word. If you know someone that's single, if you know that somebody else has a friend that's single, get them to meet. You gotta do what you gotta do. I know that they think it's a bad thing, it's non-badgi or whatever, but
it's not.
This is how people meet. This is how people get to know each other.
بهتر است که کسی که وقتی معرفی میکنین بهتر است که معرفی کنین اقلا اون نفر میشناسین از اینکه که یک نفر ناشناس بره ببینه یک کسی.
Exactly, and اون نفر خدا نخواسته
آدم خراب بره.
Exactly, we don't want that. One of the last things I want to talk about is working on ourselves and being realistic. So هر چیز که ما میخوایم یا آرزو داریم از کسی دیگه خودمون اول داشته باشیم. خودمون از اول ببینیم خودمون در گریبان ما خودمون ببینیم در وجدان خود ما چی رقم انسان هستیم. What do we have to offer و از دیگه نفرم اصلا ما چی میخوایم. That's really important. and وقتی که همراه یک کس معرفی میشین یا همراه کسی میخواین که صحبت کنین درباره عروسی چی چیزای یا چی سوالای پرسان میکنیم. Of course you have to talk about everything. چی چیزایی که اوکی است دربارش گپ بزنین چی چیزا نیست. What are your likes and dislikes, and it doesn't just mean I like the color pink and I like drinking coffee.
You have to be honest in the beginning.
You have to be honest. چی رقم finances دارین، تا کجا تحصیل کردین، چی رقم فامیل دارین، فامیلتون سختگیر است نیست. Are you okay with female and male friends? Are you not? Social media چطور است؟ کار کردن
I feel like you should do that before it gets serious.
Yeah,
sometimes
you have to know what you want.
Some people make the other person fall in love and then they're like in love. So they're like, what do I choose? My happiness and what I'm used to, or do I marry this person and become a prisoner?
Yeah, don't try to change someone to be what you think is, the perfect person or what you believe to be the perfect person. And for those who have exes, make sure you get over your exes. Make sure you actually talk about your traumas and whether you're really honestly ready. If you're afraid of commitment, if you're afraid of moving on, if you're afraid of talking about چی درد دل دارین و چی پرابلم ها دارین، چی مشکلات ها دارین در زندگی، اگر اون چیزا رو نمیخواین دیسکس کنین، اگر اون چیزا رو نمیخواین
if you don't trust them enough to talk about these things, then maybe they're not the right person for you.
Exactly. You have to be ready to commit before you speak to someone because you don't want to waste their time.
Yeah.
خب دوستای عزیز، برنامه تقریبا به پایان رسیده. just میخواستم یک یادآوری کنم که کنسرت رامین جان آتش March 18th است. 6 بجه دروازه باز میشه و بخیر شما را.
It's just for ladies. و شما خانم‌ها اونجا بخیر.
صرف خانم‌هاست.
Bring your dancing shoes and have fun. And while we're on topic of having fun and ladies only, there's also another event on
تاریخ 26
March 26, ladies only at Canadian Convention Center. Alia Jan Ansari و Zamir Jan Zaria will be performing, and you will see us at both of the events. Right. So hope you can make it.
Right. So اگر کدام سوال داشتین، کدام گفتنی داشتین، as always میتونین یا مرا مسیج کنین در سوشال میدیا یا میتونین که مسکو جان استان زای مسیج کنین و انشالله که برنامه نو شما میبینیم و همه ما شریک میشیم.
Of course.
Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, it's been great, and we'll see you next time.
Tabadi, I think, right?
Yeah, Tabadi. Khuda Hafiz.